As noted previously, our coming-of-age students, they study many questions, and they're big, hard questions, and one of them is how to build a beloved community. Let's take a minute for us to explore this. And if we have questions, let's find our COAers and ask them afterwards. So Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. envisioned the beloved community, a society grounded in justice, equal opportunity, and love for all humanity. For him, this wasn't an unattainable goal. It wasn't an impossible dream. It wasn't an unreachable utopia. It was real. It was achievable. Given what's happening today here around the globe, this may seem like a foolish idea. It is not. In this room, we possess and nurture the knowledge and the tools that can make it happen. The roadmap for how to get there exists in our shared texts, our interfaith love, and our lived experience. We don't see it as particularly noteworthy, but marching with Dr. King were not only Jews and Muslims, but Catholics and mainstream Protestants. If you think about it, that time in U.S. history and preceding that time, interfaith marriage included, and in fact was focused and condemned between Catholics and other Christians, between evangelicals and mainstream Protestants. Religion wasn't broad strokes of Christianity, Judaism, Islam. It wasn't about the differences between Christ and God and Allah. These differences were deep chasms. Those distinctions are still with us, but Dr. King's message was for a reconciliation between the religions and inside of them, between ethnic divisions and within them, between social classes and within them. The three scripture texts we just read were all fundamental to his message. Dr. King emphasized all people are created in the image of God. Each human has a divine spark, each of us. The ones we agree with and the ones we don't. The ones who lift us up and the ones who don't. On November 17th, 1957, Dr. King preached, "The person who hates you most has some good in him. Even the nation that hates you most has some good in it. Even the race that hates you most has some good in it. And when you come to the point that you look in the face of every man and see deep down within him what religion calls the image of God, you begin to love him in spite of. No matter what he does, you see God's image there." It is not for us to like everyone. That would be difficult even for a saint. But it is our duty to seek out that spark and seek out a way to hold it dear. In that same sermon, he elaborated on this with the text from Matthew that we just read. Love your enemies and pray for those who persecute you. That effort to find humanity in all people is linked to action. He was very clear. It is not enough to find that divine spark in others and merely recognize it. Being satisfied with the knowledge that people hold good in them is to maintain the status quo. Society must advance, grow, and be changed. In his famous I Have a Dream speech in 1963, Dr. King urged us to effect this change. After quoting the passage we just read from Isaiah, he continued, "With this faith, we will be able to transform the jangling discords of our nation into a beautiful symphony of brotherhood. With this faith, we will be able to work together, to pray together, to struggle together, to go to jail together, to stand up for freedom together, knowing that we will be free one day." That knowledge, the belief in the prophecy that unity is the ultimate end, gives hope and drive to each of us. Senator Cory Booker shares a story about how an effort to find and root out racial housing discrimination gave his parents and him a chance to grow and live in a better place in New Jersey. When he shares this story, he begins by telling of a man who was moved to join the civil rights movement, but he couldn't go and march and fight in person. He then decided to fix what he could in his community. He made it his life's work to seek out and stamp out that racial housing discrimination, because that is what he could do. We cannot all fight the big fights, but our small actions, our convictions, and the lessons we teach our children are a part of change. These are the efforts that will let every valley be raised and every hill and mount be made low, that will let the rugged ground become level and the ridges become a plain. These words are inspiring today, but we have grown used to hearing them, thinking of them as echoes of the past. They are not. As an interfaith community, we know what it is to seek out shared values amongst different theologies. As an interfaith community, we know what it is to defend the joys of difference against those who insist that difference is caustic. As an interfaith community, we know that we cannot change everyone's mind, but we can stand as an example of what it can look like to see the humanity in all people, what loving one's enemy can create, and what a commitment to justice can accomplish.